any form of sexual encounter, you go through 3 phases: learning, liking, and wanting. The learning phase is where you actually are learning to see whether or not your body is receptive of it, and you're curious about it. So that's why all the thoughts come through. You're like, oh my God, what's happening? And you kind of freak out a little bit. You've got to remind yourself that let's keep going and let's see if we actually do like it. Because if you don't, that's okay. Then bing, out the door, you've learned that you don't like it. But you got to persist a little bit more. You got to find a technique. You got to find a rhythm. You got to see what actually works for you. Because I guarantee you'll find a spot and you'll be like, oh, I didn't realize. Oh, hello. And I'm sure you've had those moments before where you found a spot and you're like, oh, hello. Okay, that came out of nowhere. That's because you've experimented, you've kept pushing past the learning fear base, and you've pushed, and now all of a sudden you like it. You're like, oh. And that's why people get a little bit like, oh, I kind of really like that. They think it's so naughty, and they think, oh, it's not naughty, but you do you, babe. It's just, you found the spot. And then once you've found that you've had your moment, you've had your pleasure with it, once you then stop doing it, you've gone about your day, you're wanting it. You're wanting it again, or more of it, or more of them, and it becomes this beautiful thing. And obviously that all comes down to context, and it doesn't always work that way, but that's the journey that we go through. So when we're learning something, it becomes a bit of a shock and a bit of a, what's happening here? The first time we all did it, what happened? We were learning. It never was like, oh yes, that was beautiful. It can, but we definitely would. No one was educated about this part. And then we were like, well, I like that. I actually enjoy that. And then that's when we learn more about ourselves and our techniques and what's going on with our body. And then we want it. We're like, I really want more of that.